Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Before we begin, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. The first time Mark noticed the weariness, it felt like a gradual drain on his life's energy. It wasn't dramatic, no collapsing or fainting, but a quiet depletion of strength that had him arriving at rehearsals early and leaving late, only to find himself sitting on the curb outside the studio, hands on his knees. Wondering when he had become someone who could get exhausted on a Tuesday. He had always been a man of action, a life composed of sets and stages, dates and deadlines, laughter in the kitchen, and 1,000 small rituals that kept his family stable. Kelly moved around him like a gentle stream, both compass and sanctuary. They had endured the media storms and the gossip columns together, managing personal sorrows behind closed doors, creating a public persona that was equal parts comic flair and hard-earned affection. Their home operated on jokes and coffee and the unique language of two people who had charted each other's routines. So when Mark told Kelly that he'd been feeling unwell for weeks, she listened in the way people who love each other do, with an attentiveness that both comforted and grounded him. They sat at their kitchen island, daylight pooling on the butcher block, and he attempted to make a joke the way he always did, the kind that transforms peril into gentler forms. Kelly's laugh was quiet at first, then consistent. She leaned forward, elbows on the countertop, and adopted a serious demeanor in a world they both counted on not to be serious. "You need to see a doctor," she said plainly. He disliked that she could make choices for him that he couldn't make for himself. But the reality of it was he didn't want to hide any longer from the possibility that something might be wrong. The initial round of tests returned inconclusive. A hint here, a concerning figure there, and the doctors suggested more. The waiting rooms of the medical center merged into one another. Magazines older than their grandchildren's baby photos, vending machines humming a sort of dispassionate hum. The specialist who eventually sat across from Mark had a calm, relaxed voice. He detailed probabilities, imaging, and biopsies with the rehearsed impartiality of someone whose job it was to deliver difficult news as carefully as one might break an egg. When the diagnosis came, it arrived like a forecast, clinical, factual, and somehow stunning in its harshness. They gave him a name for the thing that had been robbing him of his mornings. The word itself was heavy in his mouth, a strange burden, as if he had ingested a rock. It did not define him in the ways people sometimes thought illness did. It did not make him small or virtuous, and yet it recast everything. Conversations they had taken for granted now needed careful handling. Their children's voices carried new tones of concern. Schedules were reordered. With a renewed importance, Kelly was both tempest and sanctuary. She sprang into action, mastering the medical terminology the way she once learned scripts, quickly, with focus, and with an unyielding eye for how to make complex things seem easier for the people she loved. She read journals, sat through late-night forums, took notes during doctor appointments, and asked the kinds of questions that made clinicians hesitate and provide more detailed responses. But she also stayed awake until the house was quiet and simply sat with him. No words sometimes, just a presence that felt grounding. On the nights when sleep evaded them both, she placed a hand on his chest and followed the well-known contours of his tattoos, as if recharting him. In those small gestures, there was a determination not to let the illness be a solitary burden. It would be woven into the tapestry of their daily existence, not permitted to unravel it. Public life, however, has its own momentum. Rumor and curiosity are machines that thrive on silence. The couple had practiced for years how to maintain a personal life in the public eye. Now they were practicing a new performance, what to reveal, how much, and when. Their agents and PR advisors offered options with sharp competence. An announcement framed as advocacy, a plea for privacy, selective leaks to control the story. Mark and Kelly did not want to be the subject of sensationalism or quiet sympathy. Neither of them wanted to exploit the diagnosis against the voracious news cycle. They chose a fine line, sincerity without spectacle. They composed a shared message that read like a pledge to be honest where honesty would help others understand, to shield their children from gossip, and to use whatever platform they had to highlight the broader concerns that the diagnosis brought to light. They made the choice not to dramatize the private into the public, but to move carefully into the spotlight and let the facts stand on their own. The announcement spread across the globe with the speed of a